I'm not going to lie to you. I know absolutely nothing about the powerhouse K-pop female quartet Blackpink. More and more does it become evident, an indisputable fact even, that we live in a world so globally interconnected through infinite loops of online social media noise juxtaposed against a world so disconnected to the point where we no longer share common pop stars anymore. I'm deeply fascinated and haunted by this very concept every time a friend, or perhaps a foe, they elucidate my curious mind and bring forward a huge mainstream act that I somehow have never heard, I guess, or maybe I have passively, but not consciously or actively. It begs the question, how does this happen? All this targeted advertising, all this money that YG Entertainment has poured into making sure that Blackpink are the biggest girl act of all time. And yet, it never came across my desk. And therefore, I remain in the dark, ignorant, and out of it when it comes to right down the middle mainstream culture, at least a lot of the time. So today we zoom in on the aforementioned Blackpink. Who are they? Where did they come from? Why are they so huge? Why didn't I get the memo? Is the explanation that much of an Occam's razor blade suitcase by Bush X only in Canada? Formed by the infamous YG Entertainment Inc., also the home to a multitude of huge K-pop artists I know absolutely nothing about, Blackpink is composed of 4 members: Jisoo, Jennie, Rose, and Lisa, who, as many of you probably already know, was in White Lotus. A multitude of publications have called them the biggest girl group in the entire planet. They are part of what is known as the Korean wave. In other words, it's good for soft power for Korea to have these artistic endeavors be touchstones across the globe, as if to say we have arrived. And these important cultural influences include acts such as BTS, and even TV shows and movies such as Parasite and Squid Games would be considered as part of this quote-unquote Korean wave. Starting in 2016 with Square One, a single album. It's a single and another single, so it's called a single album, not a singles album, and not an EP. They hit multiple touchstones over and over and over again. Whistle was their first hit to go number 1 in Korea's Circle Digital Chart. Boombaya was their first song to go number 1 on Billboard World Chart. And in 2018, Do 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 was the first song by any Korean female group to enter the UK singles chart and receive a certification from the RIAA. Its music video is the first by a Korean group to surpass 1 and 2 billion views on YouTube. Their music videos for Kill This Love in 2019 and How You Like That in 2020 set records for the most viewed music videos within the first 24 hours of release. The latter topped the Circle Digital Chart and set 5 Guinness World Records. With over 40 billion streams and 20 million records sold worldwide, Blackpink is one of the best-selling girl groups of all time. They are the most subscribed music act and most viewed band on YouTube and the most followed and the most streamed female group on Spotify. Blackpink's accolades include Golden Disc Awards, Mama Awards, People's Choice Awards, MTV Video Music Awards. They were the first girl group to win Group of the Year at the MTV Video Music Awards. Blackpink was the first girl group to enter the Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia, and they were named Time's 2022 Entertainer of the Year. The group has been ranked among the top of the Forbes Korea Power Celebrity 40 list and recognized by former South Korean President Moon Jae-in, am I saying that right, for spreading K-pop and Korean culture around the world. Let's get down to the nuts and bolts of how this successful operation came to be. First of all, we have to conceive of YG Entertainment as essentially a pop star academy, or as Rose put it, the X Factor with dorm rooms. Jennie even referred to it as stricter than school. YG were having open auditions with the student body, and they ideally wanted the group to be a 7-piece, which for whatever reason is a common number of people chosen exclusively in K-pop acts. Whereas in the States and UK, 5 seems to be the power number, sometimes 4, but I think power number is 5. Apparently the reason why 7 is a power number in K-pop, but J-pop too, is because it balances visual symmetry, performance dynamics, and business logistics between the members. Kind of like Brockhampton or Slipknot. Also, the arrow formation is visually pleasing and easy for the eye to follow when watching 7-piece dance routines live. 7 and 8 pieces can break down something like this. Main vocalist, who is the powerhouse. Lead vocalist, somehow different. Not necessarily Brian, but like an important spice. You need the spice in the spice drawer. main dancer, who is the performance leader, the main rapper, then you have a visual face publicity component, then you have the leader. So stupid. Managing internal dynamics, then you have the Mackinac, Babyfaced, or Nick Carter, young and youthful, of the group. Here's another fascinating psychological phenomenon referred to as Miller's Law, or the Goldilocks zone, if you will. The typical human brain can only hold up to 7 plus 2, give or take, at one time. Much like the lore of the different personalities adds to the fun of the creative project that your eyes are feasting on. It took an astonishing 4.5 to 5 years to perfect the formation of Blackpink, and boy did the investment pay off. I found this to be shocking, but apparently Blackpink are the first girl group that YG had debuted in 7 whole years. Don't they sound like mad scientists, perfectionists, wizards almost, that won't release anything until it's scientifically proven to be objectively perfect for capitalism and mainstream art? In January 2017, they revealed the name of their fan base, and they called it Blink. A portmanteau of black and pink. Blink. As If It's Your Last, that's the name of the song, was another summer smasher, which was actually their last huge single before they premiered their reality TV show. The reality TV show is called Blackpink House. It had over 12 episodes where we explore the 4 ladies enjoying 100 days of quote-unquote vacation, called semi-vacation, all live streamed to VLive and their YouTube channel. Highlights of the show include visiting Lisa's hometown in Thailand, including her mom feeding the girls with a home-cooked dinner, and during a forest ziplining adventure, Jisoo repeated this following phrase to calm her own nerves. I'm Jisoo, I'm okay. So tame. People seem to love the snowboarding segment where Jisoo is actually a total shredder and Rose and Lisa are absolutely horrible and falling over themselves constantly. And apparently Jennie is a fast learner, however. Other cutesy catchphrases such as Turtle Rabbit were a constant, very lovable theme that we would see throughout the show. Turtle Rabbit referring to a nickname that Jisoo came up with for Jennie during their go-kart race. Pro-show rituals, touring exhaustion, excitement, all the normal things you would expect from a music show about a girl group can be found, unsurprisingly, in this reality TV show. On June 15, 2018, they finally released their first Korean language EP, Square Up. It debuted at 40 on the Billboard 200, and it was their first time charting on the Billboard 200 at all. In August 2019, Blackpink finally went gold in the US and became the first all-female Korean girl group to achieve this very landmark. Let's not forget the Dua Lipa and Blackpink collabo in 2018, though, which put Blackpink on the UK singles chart. It peaked at 36, making it the first top 40 by a K-pop female group ever. And on October 23rd, the band signed with Interscope Records in a global partnership with YG. The representation outside of Asia would be handled by UMG, or Universal Music Group. Welcome to late stage capitalism, where there's no competition in any industry. All the bigwigs run everything. In 2019, Blackpink were the first female K-pop group to perform at Coachella. And it also should be mentioned that during this entire timeline, they are also a gigantic act in Japan. Of course, all of Asia, but outside of Korea, Japan would be the second biggest country and Thailand too. Their song Sour Candy apparently broke 5 Guinness World Records, including one for the most views in 24 hours on YouTube. The band's first official documentary film premiered on Netflix on October 14, 2020, entitled Blackpink, Light Up the Sky, which focuses on the success and glory of the album. In 2023, Blackpink headlined Coachella, making history as the first Asian headliner of this festival ever. They are also the first girl group to play Doyer Stadium, first K-girl group to perform in a stadium in Europe, and even grossed a whopping $330 million for the touring year of 2023 alone. In the summer of 2023, Blackpink were set to renegotiate their contract with YG, including changes on certain terms regarding solo careers, branding, and the like. Meta rolled out a 70-minute VR concert in the metaverse that summer as well. No idea how that did, but I'm sure it crushed for metaverse numbers. Of course, it's almost too overwhelming to name every single accolade they've ever received because there are just so many to count. Now let's talk about their style of music, if we could. They incorporate elements of EDM and whatever musical trends are hot that year, such as trap. Female empowerment, though, is what is making their message resonate with so many young fans right now in 2026 during the peak of fascism, during the post-truth internet era. Apparently, Girl Crush is a fashion style and a visual representation of a feeling and a vibe. All 4 girls have modeled for mainstream designer fashion companies such as Jisoo did for Dior, Jennie did for Chanel, Rosé modeled for Yves Saint Laurent, and Lisa for Bulgari and Celine. Following their attendance at the Met Gala in 2026, The Hollywood Reporter described the group as having become a staple in the world of fashion in the decade since their debut. Rolling Stone magazine called them the biggest K-pop girl group in history, and they are the first girl group to make it on Forbes Top 30 Under 30. According to Bloomberg, their popularity is unprecedented in musical history. 2025 Global Hallyu Trend Analysis Report noted that Blackpink had the highest share of major K-pop related keywords in foreign media in 2025 with 14.2. According to the numbers, Lisa is the most popular member of the group. She leads with 106 million followers on IG. Her 2025 solo album, Alter Ego, also was a massive hit, and then White Lotus sealed the deal for her all-timer fame, cementing her as a bona fide global superstar. Here's some other fun metrics to wrap our heads around. So I had some encoder issues, which cut off my recording yesterday of my monologue, my video essay for Blackpink. But here we are to continue it. Here are some other fun metrics. Instagram followers. Lisa leads the pack of the four ladies with 106 million followers on IG. And of course, number one in all of K-pop. Jennie, however, is frequently number one in Korean rankings and markets. And Rosé leads the pack with a song that has over 1.5 billion streams for her song APT. And then solo net worth, we have Lisa and Rosé tied, each having an estimated $40 million, a clean $40 million each. And I just learned this. Lisa is also responsible for the Labubu craze. She's widely credited with popularizing Labubu outside of Asian markets. She popularized Labubu across the entire globe, right? But it was already huge in Asian markets before she put her stamp of approval on it. It went from being a niche designer toy into a global mainstream obsession, as all of you already know. But before her influence, it already had a cult following in Asia, especially among toy collectors. But the explosion happened after Lisa started posting with Labubu dolls and bag charms in 2024. After that, Pop Mart restocks of Labubu started selling out in minutes. Resale prices skyrocketed, and celebrities like Rihanna and Dua Lipa were seen with them too. Her influence is the beginning of the craze spreading heavily in the US and Europe. You are going to want to click over here to your right and watch my live reactions to their material. It makes a lot of sense why it took me personally this long to get around to listening to their stuff, because there's nothing about their image, about their sound, about their influence that resonates with me personally. Ergo, the algo gods, the digital lords, if you will, they knew intuitively that it didn't matter. I didn't need to hear this group. It wasn't going to help their algorithms for me to hear any of this stuff. I suppose that's my conclusion. It's just not for me. But that's going to be confirmed or denied by my listening to their music.